What would a recession mean for you as a homeowner? And how would it impact the value of your home? Find out today on today's episode of Rockin' the Real Estate News. Welcome to Rockin' the Real Estate News. I'm Alice Cooper, and I look forward to answering what's rockin' in Daytona Beach real estate. Today we're talking about the possibility of a recession and what that means for you as a homeowner. Now, I'm not going to get into the debate of whether or not we're actually going to go into a recession. Opinion is still divided among the experts, and many economists warn of a recession while others say that the fear is overblown. But let's take a look at how recessions have impacted the housing market in the past. A recession does not equal a housing crisis. That's the one thing that every homeowner today needs to know. Everywhere you look, experts are warning that we could be headed towards a recession, and if true, an economic slowdown does not mean we'll lose value. The National Bureau of Economic Research defines a recession as a significant decline in economic activity spread across the economy, normally visible in production, employment, and other indicators. The recession begins when the economy reaches a peak of economic activity and then ends when the economy reaches the trough. Between the trough and the peak, the economy is in an expansion. To help illustrate what happens to home prices during a recession, let's take a look at some historical data. There have been 6 recessions in the country over the past 4 decades, and as the graph shows, looking at the recessions going all the way back to the 80s, home prices have actually appreciated 4 times and depreciated only 2 times. Historically, when the economy slows down, that does not necessarily mean that the home prices go down. The first occasion on the graph when home prices depreciated was in the early 90s when home prices actually dropped less than 2%. It happened again during the housing crisis in '08 where home prices declined almost 20%. Now, most people vividly remember the housing crisis of '08 and think that if we're to fall into a recession that we'd repeat what happened then. But the housing market isn't a bubble that's about to burst. The fundamentals are way different than what we saw in '08, and we shouldn't assume that the same thing is going to happen. Bottom line, the U.S. is not yet in a recession, but if one is coming, it doesn't mean that home prices will lose value. And like I always say, no one has a crystal ball. But the history proves that a recession doesn't equal a housing crisis. And in fact, most experts anticipate that homes will still grow in value, just slower than what we've seen in the last year and a half. So until next time, rock on, rock stars.